I'm back from a distant period, but Lucas Mixon, the wide receiver for the Buccaneers, is back, baby.
Yeah, he's better than that Nathan kid.
Yeah, to be honest, like that Nathan guy, Nathan the God, he sucks my fat nuts.
Not Nathan the God, Nathan
Oh,
Solos. Oh
oh,
my
Nathan
God.
Solos. Yeah, I
Have you
solo
seen
that
what his
kid.
girlfriend said about him?
What has his
Saying
girlfriend said about them? Get this on the video. Get this
Nathan
on the
is an
video cam.
abusive boyfriend and bullies her
What?
all the time.
Nathan. We need to put
Mm-hmm.
an investigation on the Dolphins right now. This is a serious
Mm-hmm.
scenario. The Dolphins cannot have. This is like Dan Snyder from the fucking Washington Reds. Football team, Commanders. So we need to really put out a hit on Nathan here. This is really serious accusations coming from Serena.
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
mean,
Alright.
fuck his girlfriend.
Welcome to the second game of week, this is the last game of week 4. The
Yep.
the Dolphins at the Ravens. We're here at the Ravens Stadium at night. It looks super cool. Not totally lit up, but yeah.
Mhm.
So we have the 3-0 Ravens coming here hosting
Looking to
the
go 4-0.
2-1 Dolphins. Yeah, they're looking to go 4-0 with Grizzly, but Grizzly's not here warming up yet, so I don't know if he's playing today.
Mhm. Yeah.
But let's talk
I
about
heard he's
the
gonna be playing today, but it really depends on really how the Ravens are going to go through this one, because the Dolphins easily probably have one of the best defenses in the league, especially after the last game they had against the Buccaneers. So, I mean, this is probably going to be Grizzlies' toughest defense yet. I think Dolphins do have the best defense in the league, so it really
hmm
depends what they go on from here.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's a reason why this is the primetime game of the week. So,
Yeah.
the Dolphins are coming in last week after putting up 75 points on the Buccaneers, and
And I don't even think
Sean,
Sean's starting.
Sean, yeah, Sean did start last week, and he looked really good. He won Offensive Player of the
He's
Week,
not
doing like
starting
9
this week either.
touchdowns, and then he looked super good. So, I don't even know if the quarterback job has been finished yet. Like, the
Yeah, I
competition's,
don't think it has either. Apparently, got a report. I was in the party with the Dolphins. They were talking. They talked about Fish. If he shows up, he would be starting, and if Fish missed a lot of shots or just missed situations where he would be able to Fish, Sean could easily make a shot. Sean would go in as a starting quarterback, and we're not starting, but the relieving quarterback.
hmm, that's interesting. The Dolphins all year have been having this
They have not
quarterback
start. They have
competition.
not gotten a solid QB yet. Well, I mean, not like as in they don't have a solid QB. They haven't like finalized the quarterback for the rest of the season yet.
Yeah,
And
so the
that's
main
they're not the only team with that, which the Buccaneers have also done that so far. And it seems like once you're doing that, put your team in a really big limbo spot, as the Buccaneers are probably in one of the worst teams in the league, and probably not making the playoffs. So the Dolphins should probably get this figured out soon, or they might be in that situation.
Yeah,
Their
yeah.
defense has been carrying them all year.
So the main part I want to talk about, yeah, is the defense. The killer at middle linebacker. Sean's been playing good at corner, and who's been the other one? I think it's Lim.
Lim or yeah, it's Lim or Fish. It was Fish
Fish. Yeah,
at corner.
Fish has been doing good every game. I think he's been getting an interception every game so far, or nearing
Yeah,
that. He got
he's been one of the best DBs in the game. So.
So that's their bright spot. Killer has been applying a lot of pressure. He had a pick last week, a couple sacks.
Hmm.
Killer's really that bright spot on their defense and offense. He's an
Yeah.
all-around great player for the team. So
Hiller's
yeah.
easily going to carry this team to
And
a good spot in the playoffs if they keep up.
and then the Ravens, I want to talk about like how last week they played the 49ers and they blew them out. So like these two teams last week blew out their opponent by so much, and Grizz didn't even have
Hmm.
to try. It
Yeah.
was just too easy because the 49ers aren't that good, and Grizz just
Yeah, both teams coming off of like, if the 49ers didn't forfeit, I think Grizzly would have scored 80 points in that game.
yeah. So
Easily.
the bright spot for the Ravens has been the offense. Their offense is super good with Shada and Grizz.
Hmm.
Obviously,
I
Grizz
think their
is the best
defense
quarterback in the
definitely,
league.
yeah.
Then their defense, it's they just been letting up a lot of yardage. Last week obviously was an easy win, but let's talk about the first two games for them against the Patriots and the Broncos. They let up a lot of points, and
Yeah, it's been a
Grizzly
real
didn't get a
bad issue.
sack week too. So I just think that their defense isn't the best. So they're facing the
It's
best
gonna.
defense, and then their defense and the Dolphins are facing the best offense, in my opinion. So
Oh yeah, I mean it's easily a bad situation scenario for the Ravens. I feel like the Ravens, yeah, at the same time they have a really good offense, but so do the Dolphins. Dolphins, they have two quarterbacks and both of them can make plays, which is phenomenal for them. So
hmm
even though they're in a QB situation or scenario right now, they still have both quarterbacks. So whichever one they start, they're usually going to do pretty fine, since their wide receivers carry the quarterback. In my opinion, their wide receivers are easily the best wide receiver core in the league, while Grizzly probably carries the wide receivers. So it takes a lot of pressure off the quarterback when they don't have to roll out and make plays, when the wide receivers can just make a play and they just have to find them. So in my opinion, the Ravens are at a disadvantage here because Grizzly has to make those plays, not the wide receivers. Maybe besides Shottermonk. Shottermonk is probably a really good wide receiver, but besides that, Grizzly doesn't get a lot of help from this number two. Which Tibbs last week was lagging a lot, or not last week two was lagging a lot. I remember. So I mean, and with their defense not being as good, with the Dolphins easily having the best defense in the league, the Ravens, in my opinion, are the underdogs here with those scenarios and stats. Even though with the record, I feel like the Ravens don't have that good of a defense. The Grizzly has to carry the offense when the Dolphins are carrying the quarterback, and they have the best defense. All they need is Grizzly to make one or two mistakes and then just not make any, and they win the game, in my opinion. So Grizzly's gonna have to prove that he can carry the entire team, not only the offense but the defense too, if he wants to win.
yeah, I was talking about last time the Ravens hosted a game here. It was week 2, and they won that thriller in overtime against the Broncos. That was all
Personally, should have
Grizzly.
lost.
Yeah,
But
I mean, yeah, but we gotta talk about the results. Grizzly went down the field 12 seconds, 2 plays, scored,
oh
and
yeah,
he didn't have any turnovers that game. So, hold on. If you load into the potty, there you go. So, he's just obviously been
yeah.
the best quarterback
I
in
mean,
the
he's
league
easily the
for
best
two
person on the defense and
seasons now.
offense, and
Yeah,
because Grizzly can't
he's
get much done on
clutch.
defense when the cornerbacks can't do much. Because the only way an MLB gets a sack is if he rushes really well, and if the cornerbacks are able to keep the wide receivers covered. Because the quarterback doesn't want to throw a pick every play. So if the wide receivers are covered, they got it. They can't throw it, or they'll try to throw it away, and that allows Grizzly to get sacks. But he hasn't gotten a lot this season because his cornerbacks have been low-key ass. Besides last week when they faced the worst team in the league probably in history. So I mean, that's really the bad spot. But if hopefully the corners can cut up some slack, Grizzly should have a really good game. But if not, I don't expect Grizzly to get more than 2 sacks.
Yeah, the quarterback's definitely gonna have to be quick on the decision making. Like they're gonna have to throw it fast because Grizzly can get there pretty fast and he has a good reach. So,
Yeah,
why he's
and
been
that's
the best
that's the
middle
way to beat
linebacker for
Grizzly.
3 seasons now. So, yeah.
hmm
Anyway, now let's talk about who do you think will be the MVP for both teams today?
MVP for the Ravens, it's gonna be Grizzly every single week unless he throws 3 picks for some reason. So I
hmm
mean, I feel like it's a pretty easy scenario, easy thing. Grizzly, whether they lose or win, he's going to be the reason why they were close to winning or winning the whole game entirely. But for the Dolphins, I think it's going to be Sean. I think if Fish shows up, he's going to lose his key. Sean's going to come in, and I think on defense he's going to do really well as well, keeping wide receivers covered and being able to get maybe even a turnover if he's lucky. Grizzly doesn't make a lot of mistakes. And he doesn't give quarterbacks a lot of situations to get a pick. So that's why I say if he's lucky. Not saying he can't make sure Grizzly can't pass it to the receiver, but Grizzly usually doesn't pass it to the receiver when they're covered. So in those scenarios, I feel like Sean was going to be the bright spot on that team, especially after last week. Oh, they did play one of the worst defenses. I feel like there was a lot of times when people were easily covered and they still went down. Because last week the Bucks actually got their shit together and had a decent defense. So it's not like it was the worst defense completely, but it wasn't like either a good defense at all. So I feel like Sean or Killer is going to be the.
All right, I'm thinking for the Ravens. Obviously, it'll be Grizzly. I think his favorite target today will obviously be Monk if he shows, and he'll obviously be effective on defense. But I don't see if Grizz. I don't see Grizz throwing an interception today. He's only thrown one
I
this
don't either.
season.
He doesn't, like I said, it's either he's getting a turnover on downs or he's getting the first down. I
The
don't
Ravens
usually
have
see him.
been very efficient on fourth down
Yeah.
this season. They've had a lot of
I don't
fourth
think
down
has he thrown a pick
scenarios.
all year yet?
He's thrown one week 1, and that was it.
Oh, yeah. So he's had a really good season so far.
Of course, yeah. And then for the Dolphins, I'm gonna go with I think Killer is gonna be that main target today. He's
Yeah.
obviously good at getting open, and on defense, he's been good every week at middle linebacker. This is a good middle linebacker matchup, by the way. So I think
Yeah,
Killer will
the only
be
reason I
the
wouldn't say
best.
Killer entirely on defense is just for the sheer fact Grizzly knows what he's doing. He's an
Yeah,
MLB
Grizz can throw
himself.
it far
Yeah,
and can
Grizz can
bypass a lot
throw
of
it far,
time.
get away from the MLB, and throw it away. So I do think Killer will get pressure. I just don't see Killer getting a sack, just because of Grizzly's able to, get away from the MLB and being able to make plays on the run, but also being able to be aware of the scenario and being able to know what's going on.
Yeah. So now for score predictions, the last part of this pregame show. What do you
All
got?
right. Score predictions. Although the defense for the Dolphins is going to be really good, um, I do still think it'll be a high score game, probably around the 50s. I'm going 56-54, and I'm going to go with the Dolphins on this one. It might be a hot take, but I think the Dolphins have the advantage in this game on paper, and I feel like the Dolphins, if they play right, they should beat the Ravens tonight.
All right, I'm gonna go with. I just got to go with the Ravens. Never doubt Grizzly. He's undefeated as a quarterback. Hasn't lost since season 2. Undefeated as quarterback.
To me.
He's just undefeated at quarterback. You don't sleep on Grizzly. He's gonna have. I think this is gonna be the best game we've seen all year. I think
Yeah.
because it's just the
Yeah, I
best
think Grizzly's
defense
really
going against the
good.
best offense. I think this will just be a really good game. Oh, thanks, man. You teleported us down here. Anyway, I just think it'll be a very close game. But yeah, I'm going with the Ravens. I think the Ravens will score around.
Thank you, Goose.
I think they'll score around like 30 to 40 points,
Hmm.
and then that will. I think it'll just come down to the last play again for them. This will be
Yeah,
a
I
very
think
close
Grizzly's really
game.
good too. It's just he has to carry his team so much to the point where how far do you think he could carry? Because on his offense, he only has shot a month. Usually the wide receiver two can get the ball from him, but a lot of the times he's gonna have to actually look forward and actually kind of want to throw it to him. So it's really
Hmm.
hard for Grizzly to be able to like carry an entire team. I do think he could do it. I wouldn't be surprised if the Ravens blow him out tonight or barely beat the Dolphins tonight, but I do think with all the scenarios going on, Grizzlies going to have to do a hell of a lot of work to carry on defense and offense.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see you guys in a couple minutes for the game. See you then.
Do you want me to